Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, fam, I was wanting to share this topic with you that I've been thinking about, and it's concerning, ritual abuse that a lot of kids endure at the hands of Satanists and occultists. What I found highly peculiar is that you don't see the atheist crowd talk about the ritual abuse that children have at the hands of Satanists. And, for example, you'll see T.J. Kirk, the amazing atheist, Kyle Kalinske as well, support how the Satanic Temple, the Crowley crowd, and Anton LaVey crowd trolls Christians heavily. And I just kind of find this behavior highly suspect. Why is it that the atheists, who are very prominent on YouTube, who are also secular, and support the legalization of all drugs, and they support pornography and prostitution, and they heavily mock modesty, sobriety, and want to break barriers, why is it that they never cover stories about how Satanists have done horrific trauma rituals to children, and why do they never cover real occultists who exist in society, who are wealthy, the very odd things that those figures do, the odd ways they dress? Do you ever sit back and really examine, why is it that the atheists feel this huge urge to mock religious people for believing in the day of accounting, which is noble? Why would somebody who claims to be morally superior to a religious person mock the concept that religious people hold that you will be held accountable for your bad deeds on earth? Notice how they mock that. They say, oh, you have a sky daddy who's going to protect you and show you how to, get to paradise. It's like, why would you mock people saying to themselves, I sin, I want to be better than lust, I want to be better than base desires, I don't want to be a martyr in the terms of to the capital force, I don't want to be a servant to communists, I want to be a slave of Allah Azza wa Jal. And recognizing the fact that they see this world as temporary and they're not of it in terms of materialistic, cynical nihilism, right? Why is it that people who are trying to become more aware, who have a sense of wonder about what the next abode is, when you'll be cut off from this world, extracted from earth, right? Why is that deserving to be mocked when really deranged, cynical, I'm not going to say all the gross things they do because it's already out there and plenty of other people cover it. But why is it that the atheists never, and all the channels I followed for years, they never go after those types? Like Dark Matter 2525, I've followed him for I think 11 years now. He makes a lot of videos against religion, but you will never see him go after the ideology that the Satanists hold and the negative repercussions of their ethics, their rhetoric, their goals and agenda. And if you point it out as a religious person that philosophy, that mindset, that consciousness, if the majority of people adopt that principle, what would the world look like? And it wouldn't be very pleasant. Why is it then that the finger is pointed at the religious people as being paranoid, conspiracy theorists, whack jobs? Why is it bad to be watchful of people who invert everything and hold nothing sacred and love desecration of highly valued things in terms of morality, of lines that shouldn't be crossed? Why is it that the atheists fetishize crossing boundaries, breaking the morality that has kept families together? There's this hybrid atheist movement where they say we're not a religion, so we have no unified force, but then they have nothing to give you except, a couple content creators, and then they feel like that's enough. They will destroy the institutions of faith and then offer you nothing in return while helping the satanic temple, the occultists, to spread their philosophy through comedy. Does anyone else really find that peculiar? If the atheists claim to really want to get rid of evil, why then are they targeting the people who say don't do abortion, don't use drugs, do charity, don't be a weak man, be a brave warrior, don't be a cold, witchy woman, and love your children and honor them, and don't sleep around and use men for money, and all the wonderful things that religion encourages men and women to do so they can earn salvation and paradise and forgiveness and mercy from Allah the Most High? But then when they have these really strange celebrities who are part of these different orders, who have the certain rings they wear on their fingers, and they have their really strange elite clubs that are private, why is it that the atheists never condemn them? They'll focus on politics sometimes, corruption and such, but why is it that they never investigate into the occultist agenda and philosophies and modern modes of operation in today's world, and only focus on tearing down religious centers and religious people? Thinking a chimpanzee is our cousin is not a solution to the problem of evil. Daddy Darwin is not a solution to morality. Atheists don't have their center organization. They don't have like a union or a network that is as potent as the Muslim community, the Dalai Lama, the Vatican, right? They don't have that. But they choose to still tear down something that has held up society and civilization and order since our founding as humans. I really am gonna start to question some people, when they are very smug atheists and they feel morally superior, modern, posh, sleek, sophisticated, and they're like, oh, you think, that there's hell? Oh, why do you fear hell? And it's like, why do you spend so much time attacking those who believe in accountability, self-reliance, and avoiding temptation? Why attack them? And why don't you focus on occultists? And some of them will say, well, because we don't believe the devil exists. And we don't believe God exists. Okay, but why is it that you're not attacking these Satanists and telling them they should stop what they're doing? By agreeing with their trolling, by siding with them through leaving them out of your radar of criticism, you're aiding and abetting them to continue their operations in the shadows while you hyper-focus on any small mistake that a religious person does or says. And then the atheists say, why are we persecuted by religious people? When quite clearly, we can see why now. Because you attack those who are attempting to do better every day and are against addiction, lust, pimping, casinos, you name it. But they totally, don't focus on the occultists and what they do. The strange, deranged things they do. That doesn't disturb the atheist. It doesn't disturb them enough to where they would say, hold up. So, for example, those types who are atheists who like what Christian Prince does, they like how he is so, like, derogatory, right? But I've never seen any of the commenters on his page, any of his moderators that he has in his chat, none of them ever mention anything that occultists do or focus on them at all. They're not focusing on them and tearing down those who do. This aids them, which further gets into the atheist connection to the liberals. Because the liberals, as well as sadly some conservatives, but in politics, there is a high concentration of members of those types of orders, philosophies, mindset, agendas. That's a real thing. So isn't it peculiar that the left-wing spectrum, as well as in the top echelon of the right wing, they are members of those orders, but you don't see the atheists attack them. Meanwhile, if an imam makes a mistake, if a Buddhist says something dumb, a Mormon woman does something, they highlight that forever. But if there's a kid who says, I was ritually abused in this, cult of Satanists, you don't see the atheists point that out at all. They're more angry at those who believe in the day of accounting and that those who are bad will be tormented, but they don't have any desire to go after the truly dark ones. Because you can judge someone by what they put their energy on. No doubt you can criticize anyone, but I just find it odd that I don't know any atheist content creator who systematically goes after occultists and what they do. And those topics also get censored. And who does all the censorship on YouTube is mainly a lot of leftists. And the leftists, who are secular atheists, call everything religious people talk about conspiracy theorists, paranoia, misinformation. They have every type of buzzword to smack on anyone who is saying, hey, isn't it weird that these group of people do this and wear these kinds of necklaces? And sure, there's people who do completely fake stuff. I understand. But I just find it weird that the leftists and the atheists team up with occultists and Satanists against religious groups, the truly devout. I do find this quite odd. It's becoming more and more apparent now, right? Now, there are people who go way too far with zero evidence, and they get sucked into a rabbit hole, and you kind of be like, hey, there's a balance to be had. So I understand that perspective, but I just find it strange that atheists don't highlight the children victims of these people, these groups. And I find it odd that atheists will never mock, criticize, attack verbally through the arena of ideas the dogmas, rituals, principles that the occultists hold. It's something for us to really consider. And I think it's something that we should bring up because they're dismissive of it. Oh, I don't care about that. I don't care about it. Why don't you care? If you say you work to fight against evil and you see religion as evil, well, occultism and Satanism is a religion, so why do you not make any videos on that? And, it's really fascinating. It's pretty much, I've just been thinking about it a lot. Let me know what you think. Because Kyle Kalinske, he's smart in policy, but the way he utilizes the Satanic Temple to attack religious people is really odd. His dad died from a back problem, and a chiropractor didn't do some help for him. So Kyle has a vendetta against religious people because his dad died, which is quite odd. We all die, and you can't hate religion because God tested you through taking your father a tad bit early, right? And then Kyle has been siding with certain YouTubers who are extremely degenerate and immoral. And, Kyle has Crystal on a show with her, and she's definitely has him in a simp position. Any woman of strength can see exactly where Kyle is under that high hill. So it's interesting to see a man who has father issues, masculinity issues, and has pivoted to the Satanic Temple not mock the Satanists. Because there seems to be this sort of degeneracy that occurs on that spectrum of morality in the occultist realm. How really filthy they are. And that they have zero limits with what they're willing to do to all species. Let's put it that way. So maybe more Dawa people can, question atheists when they see them. Like, what do you think about occultists? And if they say, I don't know, but I just want to talk about how Noah couldn't build this. It's like, well, maybe instead of trying to disprove what Noah did, why don't you expose modern problems of occultists and what they're doing to children? Seems like a more profitable way to spend your time, and then see what they say. I think we should start bringing that up more, right? Because if we start actually awakening this in an intelligent way, it's going to cause more, inshallah, to see that these occultists aren't just wearing all black looking like Gothic. Some of them are very polished. And the more we are watchful, the less opportunities they have to victimize children and to enslave people and condemn their souls to hellfire. Right? Let me know what you think. Because I've just been noticing this for quite some time now, and it's starting to bother me on a mental level. Because it's like, are you really genuine or not? Are you looking for truth, or are you looking to only have one niche area? It's very interesting. Let me know what you think.